Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a really powerful workplace fable to figure out what it actually takes to build sustainable, long-lasting success. We're looking at a story that, on the surface seems super simple, but it's literally a masterclass in leadership, resilience, and team dynamics. If you've ever wondered why the smartest person in the room doesn't always win, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're coming right out of the gate with this profound thought, which perfectly sets up our core theme, the eternal battle between ego and humility. It's this crazy tension we see in almost every high-performing environment, right? Ego can absolutely build this facade of strength. It gives you that armor of confidence. But as we're about to see, it's actually humility that provides the structural integrity you desperately need when things get tough. Okay, part one. Two approaches to success. Meet Vikram and Anand. We're stepping inside a fast-growing tech company called ABC Innovations. The pressure is on, the stakes are sky high, and the talent is fiercely competitive. So we've got two completely opposite archetypes here. First up is Vikram. He's known for his exceptional talent. You know, the type, that classic rock star employee, but man, he is incredibly ego-driven. He truly believes no one else in the office even comes close to his level. Now contrast that with Anand. Anand is equally skilled. He's got the exact same technical pedigree as Vikram, but his approach, totally different. He's humble, he listens way more than he speaks, and he actively welcomes ideas from absolutely everyone around him. Moving on to Section 2, the Leadership Challenge and the CEO's Pitch. This dynamic between Vikram and Anand gets put to the ultimate test when the CEO drops a major announcement. There's a massive new project on the horizon, and the pitch is a huge motivator. The team that delivers the best solution gets to represent the entire company at an international conference. Now, look at Vikram's immediate gut reaction to this challenge. I'll handle the important parts myself. I don't need anyone slowing me down. I mean, wow, it's the classic solo genius approach, driven 100% by ego. To Vikram, collaboration isn't a tool, it's just a speed bump. So he completely isolates himself, truly believing his raw, unfiltered talent is the only thing that matters. But Anand? He goes the complete opposite direction. He embraces the messy, highly collaborative process of building a team from the ground up. He actually gathers fresh graduates, interns, and junior developers. He literally brings in the least experienced people in the room. And then he actively encourages every single one of them to contribute. Basically, he's building a collective brain, rather than just relying on his own. And this quote right here perfectly captures Anand's mindset during those grueling weeks. Whenever someone on his junior team messed up, he didn't yell at them. He just said, "Good, that means we're learning." Think about how wildly different these two environments are. While Vikram is working day and night in total isolation on a solution literally only he understands, Anand's team is in the trenches together. They're arguing, debating, experimenting, and steadily improving as one unified front. All right, part 3, the ultimate stress test, presentation day. After weeks of intense work, deadline day arrives, and both of these competing philosophies are finally put under the microscope by the judges. During the presentations, the judges drop this massive, pivotal question on Vikram. They ask, what happens if you're unavailable next month? This is such a brilliant moment because the judges are totally shifting the focus. They aren't just asking who built the best product. They're asking a way deeper business question. Who built the most resilient system? And boom, the fatal flaw is exposed right here in their answers. Vikram, smiling proudly, just says, "I'll always be available." The judges just kind of look at each other. Then they ask Anand, "If you leave tomorrow, who can continue this project?" Anand just smiles and says, "Anyone on my team." And then, one by one, every single teammate stands up and confidently explains a different part of the project. It's a real game changer. Vikram is offering a fragile, single point of failure. If he goes down, the whole project dies. But Anand, he built a fully sustainable ecosystem. So the outcome is pretty obvious, right? Deeply impressed by this decentralized knowledge and just the sheer confidence of this junior team, the CEO announces Anand's team as the winner. And Vikram is completely baffled. He actually goes up to the CEO afterwards, genuinely confused, demanding to know why he lost, when his solution was, at least in his eyes, technically superior. Which brings us to Section 4, the CEO's metaphor, nature's lesson on resilience. To answer Vikram, the CEO doesn't pull up a spreadsheet or point to lines of code. Instead, he takes Vikram outside for a visual demonstration. This is the moment that elevates this whole story from just another office dispute to a really profound universal truth about how we handle pressure. The CEO points to two very different plants right outside the office. On one side, you've got this tall, rigid tree, standing perfectly straight, totally immovable. On the other side, there's a bamboo plant, just gently swaying and moving with the breeze. As they're standing there, these really strong winds suddenly kick up. And this physically demonstrates exactly what happens when inflexible ego meets the unpredictable winds of change. The rigid tree, completely unable to adapt, literally snaps under the immense pressure. But the bamboo? It just bends completely with the wind, survives the whole onslaught, and once the storm passes, it stands right back up again. Looking at the snapped tree and the perfectly fine bamboo, the CEO hits Vikram with this devastatingly simple realization. Talent makes you stand tall. Humility helps you survive every storm. It absolutely hits the nail on the head as to why Vikram lost. His technical talent made him stand tall, for sure, but he was completely rigid. Anand's collaborative, humble approach, his willingness to share knowledge and bend with the learning process, that was the bamboo. It was the only genuinely sustainable solution for the company. And that takes us to Section 5, the power of bending, and Vikram's transformation. This is the final chapter of our explainer, and it really shows how this one powerful metaphor completely rewrites Vikram's entire career trajectory. He doesn't just hear what the CEO is saying, he fully internalizes it. We can map out this total night and day transformation here. On presentation day, he was this ego-driven, isolated guy who thought he had to do literally everything himself. Then comes the metaphor, where he finally realizes the absolute power of flexibility and humility. Fast forward to years later, and Vikram had completely abandoned his old ways. From that day forward, he actively chose to listen more, teach others, and check his ego at the door. So, what's the ultimate takeaway from Vikram's evolution? Well, he actually went on to become one of the most respected leaders at ABC Innovations. But here is the kicker. It wasn't because he knew everything. It wasn't because of that initial solitary technical brilliance. It was because he adopted that bamboo mindset. True, lasting leadership requires the flexibility to realize you just don't have all the answers, and the humility to learn from the people around you. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with the ultimate moral of the story. The strongest people are not those who refuse to bend, they are those who know when to. So ask yourself, the next time the unpredictable winds of change blow through your workplace or your project or, honestly, even your life, are you going to try to stand rigid like the tree and risk snapping under the pressure? Or will you choose humility, learn from others, and choose to bend? Keep that in mind. Thanks so much for joining me today.